Good morning, folks. I hope you can hear me. Leave me a message if you can. It's very good to have you online with me in this, my first ever live lesson as the coding coach. So, just to tell you a little bit about the coding coach, it's a little enterprise of mine to go into primary schools, clubs, and teach individuals, of course, a bit of coding. What I've noticed as a secondary school teacher is that some kids arrive at secondary school with some experience of coding and some don't. And the coding coach is my venture to try and bridge that gap a bit so that we all get a bit more understanding of what coding is and what we can do with it. I do that through mainly computer games. I'm running an after school club. I'm going to go into a school when all this is over. I'm going into a school to teach some lessons during the day as well at primary school. And I hope to expand that and help as many people as I can, help as many schools as I can. So do get in touch with me if that sounds like something that you might find useful. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be on sprite painting. Because it's a painting lesson, I've decided to recruit my old friend Bob Ross. If you've heard of Bob Ross, you'll know why I like him so much. If you haven't, go and look him up. The music playing at the moment is the theme tune from his 80s TV show. I need to turn it off because it's just too distracting. There we go. If you hear a yelp in the background or a whimper, it's my dog. He's decided to join me this morning, so this is proper Bob Ross territory. I've got an animal in the studio with me. It's not a baby raccoon, sadly, it's a dog, but he's pretty cool. Now then, what are we going to do today? We are going to create a sprite. A sprite, what's that? It's a character for a computer game, basically, and it's a very retro, old-school way of creating computer graphics. We'll go into that a bit more. We're going to create some animation for our sprite, so he's going to walk around, he's going to move, and he's going to look like he's moving, and then we're going to save that, and then I'm very quickly, because I think probably most of the time will be spent doing a bit of painting, which will be very relaxing and lovely. I shall use my best Bob Ross voice. We're going to import that into Scratch, and I'm going to show you a little bit of code just to show you how that works. Now, I've got 5 people watching live. This is exciting. Say hello if you're watching live at the moment. That will really encourage me. You can share this with people afterwards as a video, and they will be able to watch it afterwards, and I will try and make it as available as I can everywhere. Now then, once we've done all that, we should have a little character we can move around in our game, and then we'll go on from that and we'll develop more of our game as the lessons progress, assuming that I manage to achieve this today, of course. I've got to get through this one first. So, I've had this idea for a game with Bob. I thought this is rather good. I've got a feeling this might actually sell a few copies. It would be really cool, wouldn't it, if you could make a computer game and then put it online afterwards and I had other people playing it. How cool would that be? Well, hopefully I'm going to show you some skills that you can put towards doing that. You've got about 3 months to learn, something like that. We can all sit here and we can become experts at computer game making. You might as well use the spare time, right? I read somewhere that most people on average now have 3 extra hours a day to do what they want. I imagine some people have more, some people have less, but 3 hours a day. Imagine if you had an hour a day to do this. You could get a lot done, couldn't you? So my game, I've got this idea of Bob running around collecting paint, different colours, all the different colours from, you know, harvest white and sunrise yellow and all those lovely colours that Bob Ross liked to use in his paintings. Once he's collected those, he can run back to his picture and do a bit of painting. Maybe beat the devil out of his brush, that sort of thing. And while he's doing that, of course, he could be, for a bonus in my computer game, he could be rescuing baby raccoons, baby animals. I think that might actually be quite a good game. So I'm going to start developing my game, and first of all, I need my lead role, don't I? I need my Bob Ross. So we're going to create Bob Ross as a sprite, as you can see on the screen right now. Here's my Bob Ross sprite. So what is a sprite? A sprite is a graphic made with pixels, made with little dots. If you take your face and you press it up to your TV, the first thing that will happen is you'll make a nose print on it. The second thing that will happen is if you look really, really carefully, you'll see little dots in the screen. So that screen is made up with little dots of light, and a pixel is pretty much one of those. It's a little dot of light. Pixels come in different colours now. They were black and white to start with, but now using a mix of red light, green light and blue light, you have heard of that, RGB. That's a very familiar computer term. Pixels are RGB, they're red, green and blue. They've got a mix of those colours. If they have all of those colours to the maximum, they become white. If they have none of those colours, none of that light, they become black. That's something you can look into on your own later on. Maybe I'll show you that in another lesson. And they're stored on a computer in binary, so lots of dots stored as ones and zeros to represent where they are and what colour they are. Okay, so that's a very brief overview of what a sprite is, and basically we're going to use them to make our game look really cool. Right now there are lots of developers developing indie games that use sprites rather than 3D. Not just because it's simple, but because they look great. If you think of games like Sonic the Hedgehog and Zelda and Mario, they all use sprites originally and they look brilliant. Let me just show you something very quickly. I'm going to jump to another window. This, if I can zoom in on this, I think I can. This is the sprite sheet for Sonic the Hedgehog. So when they made Sonic the Hedgehog for the, what was it on? The Mega Drive, wasn't it? And if you're watching in America, the Genesis. See? Multinational, my lessons. So Sonic the Hedgehog was made with sprites. Now, because they're beautifully drawn sprites, he looks a little bit three-dimensional. He's got a little shine to him and shadow, and he looks really good, doesn't he? And those are all the sprites that they use. So when you did different things in the game, running, jumping, rolling, falling, dying, losing a life, it would utilise those sprites as animation. A bit like, if you think of a film like one of the Wallace and Gromit films with the claymation, when they used to do it with claymation, they used to move the model a little bit at a time. And we're going to try that today. We will only do a couple of frames. We're not going to make anything as complex as you're looking at right now, because that will take hours. You can do that in your own time. You've got time to do that. You have the gift of time right now, folks, so use it. Back to my presentation. What else do we need to look at here? We've covered that, I think. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to this website, http://piskelapp.com. I'm not being sponsored by them or anything. It's a free website to use. You can create a free account on it and you can use that to make retro graphics. So I've dialed that in already. Yesterday I tried this out and I couldn't get into some of the websites because of the internet, so I've already loaded it. But if you go to your browser and you type that address in, or if you do a search for Piskel app, I've put the link in the share I did for this on my Coding Coach page on Facebook, so you can find the link there as well. Piskel app. Piskel, I think, is a Scandinavian word for pixel, so you can look that up if you like as well. See if I'm right. So this is Piskel app. I'm going to put it back on full screen. I'm going to press my F11 key. Did you know you can do that, by the way? F11. F11. Neat, isn't it? Makes it look a bit nicer. Now, unfortunately, I've got a hideous advert for Warcraft over here, but at least it's only Warcraft. Hey, look at that. That's cool. So, you can create an account for this, okay? You don't have to. If you're worried about leaving your email details on there or anything like that, don't worry about it, alright? Just go on Create Sprite, which is what I'm going to do now. There we go. Okay, just going to check the Facebook page. Let's see if anybody's left any comments. This Philez, Guy, hi Guy, good to have you on board, gentlemen. And I hope you're enjoying my lesson. Okay, we're going to have a little Bob Ross session today. We're going to do some painting. So here we go. Now, when I was doing my test run of this, I kept calling this a palette. And fortunately, none of the art teachers I know had a go at me about that. We're up to 9 viewers at the moment. This is exciting, isn't it? I've got a class of 9. Bless you. Okay. So, it isn't a palette. This over here, if you click on these colours, that's a palette, isn't it? That's all the colours I can use. Okay? If I was Bob Ross, I would have the colours coming up along the bottom of the screen now that we're going to use today. But, first of all, I'm not completely sure what they are. I'm going to make it up as I go along. Second of all, I haven't got that. Next time, if I do another Bob Ross style lesson, maybe I'll do that as well. But anyway, this is where you pick your colours down here. You've got some tools over here. You've got a brush. We're going to use the pen tool quite a lot. There's a fill tool there to save some time. There's an eraser. Not going to use those, but you can draw shapes with it. A couple of other tools there that we don't need to use today, moving things around, selecting things. You can play with those if you want. The tools we're mainly going to use today, we're going to use the brush, the fill tool, probably the eraser because I make mistakes. We're going to use the little pipette tool here. If you've done science, that's a pipette. It sucks up stuff. We're going to suck up the colour from somewhere. Let me just show you quickly. If I move it over here, does it do it on these? No, it doesn't. I have to have something for it to do it on. No, that's rubbish, isn't it? Usually they could do anything. Never mind. So if I just do that, pick a colour and go like that. That's that colour. We'll pick another colour. We'll do something different. I'll just show you the pipette tool very quickly because it is very useful. And say I want to do some of that. Then I come back and think, right, I need to do some more red. So I can't remember exactly the shade of red. So I just take the pipette tool, click it there, carry on. Okay, good. Right, Control and Z. Anyone know what Control and Z does? It undoes. So it makes me go back. Bob Ross can't clear his canvas like that, but I can. So, main canvas. Change the size of it. You can do all sorts of things with it. We're going to leave it like that. Size of the brush, very important. I'm going to work with 1 pixel at a time. You can work with 2, 4, and so on. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with 1 pixel, okay? And I'm going to start at the top of my canvas because I don't want to run out of room before I get to the bottom. So, first thing I'm going to do is put Bob's outline in. I'm going to do that in black, and it's going to be... Oh, I tell you what, we could do this quicker, can't we? This tool here, vertical mirror pen, very handy. If you can find the centre of the screen, it's about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will draw a symmetrical thing. Now, Bob's hair, of course, his famous hair, perfectly symmetrical. So we're going to use the symmetry tool for that. And I'm just going to start laying down some pixels. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not expecting you to draw Bob Ross, by the way. It's not a prerequisite for this lesson. You can draw whatever you want. I just happen to want to draw Bob Ross and make a computer game about him because I'm a little bit bored in isolation. And I bet I'm not the only one. Okay, so we've got his arms there. We're going to go across here and go, what should we do? We'll go up to there, I think. That's a couple of arms. And then we'll go down 1, 2, 3. I think he's almost big enough actually. And then 1, 2, 3 that way. What's happened there then, eh? What's that about? So right click, we'll use the other colour that I've selected, which in this case is nothing. So we've got to go to there, I think. And then that's probably all I need with that colour for now. Next thing, we want a brown colour for the hair. Let's do the hair next. Quick way of doing this. So brown, it's one of those weird colours, isn't it? It's a shade of orange, in fact. Somebody will tell me there's no such colour as one of those. I can't remember which one it is. But if we go, what should we do? Let's start there, draw across. And then we'll do down here, I need some choosers. I'm going to turn that pen off now. Go back to a normal pen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, gone wrong again. There we go. Let's do that. Let's do that. Right, to start with here, this is the fill tool. Bam, look at that. Lovely. Okay, that's one shade of brown. Then I'm going to use a pen and I'm going to make some slightly lighter brown. About that much. That looks good, doesn't it? Right, and we'll go here. We can sort these colours out in a minute. If we don't like them, we can change them. But remember, there are no mistakes. Finish the quote and win a prize. Not really, because I can't get it to you, can I? But you know what I mean. Right, 2 of those, 2 of those. I'm going to go across there. I think about there. Looks good to me. What do you think? I think that looks all right. Then we're going to go down there. We used to have a guy at school, Phil Ayres, if you're still there, you'll remember him. He was a good friend of yours. Colin. He used to sit there all day drawing pixel art. He was amazing at pixel art. If I was running a video company and he was around now, bless him, He'd be on my team. He was a genius at pixel art, and it's actually, I have to say, having sat here and done this and practiced it, it is very relaxing. I implore you, I encourage you, have a go at this because it's really fun. Doesn't matter if you're young or old, get your computer, get this website up and have a play. Make a picture. It's lovely fun. Right. Doesn't look like Bob Ross yet, does it? But we're coming along here. I'm just going to tweak those colours because I'm not happy with those colours at all. Let's use the fill tool. That didn't work. Why is that lighter? I thought that was going to be darker. Try that one. Ah, that's better. And then let's go a little bit lighter there, like that. What do you reckon? I think we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I like that. That's okay for now. We just need to get that colour and do it here as well. There we go. Possibly differing a bit too much. We'll see how we do. Right, let's do his shirt next, shall we? Should we do his shirt? I think we'll do his shirt next. So, Bob Ross, obviously, got to be a blue shirt, hasn't it? Let's just have a little look at the old Facebooky thing again. How are we doing, guys? Have I lost anyone yet? I've got people watching. That's exciting, isn't it? Wow, not bad. Do say hello. Do ask if you've got any questions. I'm checking my Facebook from time to time. It's all looking good at the moment. We've got about 9 or 10 people watching. That's excellent. But yeah, absolutely. Send me a message. Encourage me. Ask if you've got any questions and I'll see what I can do to help. Right, back to the pen. 1, 2. That's a lovely Bob Ross shirt colour, isn't it? I'll tell you what we'll do. Save a bit of time. There we go. Then I want a slightly darker colour. Nearly. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Right, we'll go with that. Whoops. Yeah, be careful. Don't forget Control Z. If you make any happy little accidents, just Control Z them. No problem. Easier than painting because you can't easily do that with paint, can you? I'm sure my art teachers will tell me I'm wrong there, and it's actually, there's a trick to it. Okay, yeah, he's starting to come along. He's starting to look a little bit three-dimensional, isn't he? Right, let's do his sleeves. How's that? Yeah, I'm liking this. This is good. I think that sleeve's probably a bit... Let's just go with the lighter colour for now. And I want yet another shade of blue. Now, I think originally with pixel art, you had about 8 colours. So, what have we used so far? I think we're good, aren't we? I think we've stuck to 8 colours. We're playing by the rules here. Stick one of those in there. That shirt's not quite right, is it? Let's just go a smidge brighter. That's better. It was a little bit too differing, wasn't it? Same with the hair. The hair is a little bit too... I'm going to do the same to the hair because the hair's bugging me right now. So, you can take as long as you want on this. But there you go. I'm alright with that. That's good. Right, now we need a face. So, go to pink. It's not fleshy enough, is it? How about that? That looks good, doesn't it? Right, let's go with that. So, your character can be whatever you want it to be. It does not have to be Bob Ross. Let's see, I'm going to go up from here. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's like a waltz. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. And then we're going to go here. Hopefully you're going to see what I'm doing now. And then we're going to go up there like that. What have I missed? I missed that. There we go. Well, hello Bob Ross. It's starting to look good. Let's just grab the black colour again. Remember, just that again, this is light, this isn't paint, so any amount of paint is red, these characters, green and blue, yeah? So you've got RGB, red, green and blue. So if I change that to 0, do you see that? I've only got red in it now. So I've got no green and no blue. The maximum, and you can look up why later on, I'm not going to frighten you right now. That's maximum red light, okay? If I add maximum blue light as well, what colour do I get? Purple. You'd think that, wouldn't you? Let's add maximum green and take out the blue, and we get yellow. Now that doesn't happen with paint, does it? But that's light that we're playing with here. And like I said, if you have maximum red, maximum green, maximum blue, you get white. If I take all of that colour away, you get, there's no light, so you get black. Okay? Little colour lesson there. Little colour wheel lesson as well. Ah, I spoil you lot. Right. Bob's eyes. They're black now. We have a rogue pixel. Get rid of it. What have I missed? Well, we're gonna add a bit of Bob Ross chest hair. There we go. We're showing a bit of chest hair, our Bob, and we're gonna add a little bit of pink just there, and a little bit there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Bob Ross sprite. That is, tell you what, we're almost there. Just one more thing I want to do. Just another shade of brown. And I'm just going to stick a bit in here. Happy? Happy. His hair's a little bit dodge, but whatever. Good enough. Okay, so let's center our Bob Ross sprite. So we're going to go over to the transform bit, and we're just going to click on this bit here. That puts him right in the middle. That's very important. We don't want him off center when we put him into our computer game, because then it won't work properly. So now I could sign in, I could save it, I could export it. We'll do that in a minute. Let's just take a look at what we've done so far. 3 of us here, age 7 to 40, looking good. You guys, you legends, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Right, next thing we're going to do then, guys, we are going to quickly demonstrate to you how to animate. Now, you may or may not know that a film, a piece of video, is made up of frames. So it's like a bunch of photographs stuck together, a bunch of images stuck together, one after another. If you've ever made a flicker book animation where you get a book and you draw on the corner of the pages and then you flick those pages, you know what I mean. It's lots and lots of drawings, lots and lots of photos. So to make Bob move, we're going to need some frames of animation. Now I'm going to create one simple frame for now. If you want to do more, you can. Remember the Sonic picture, that was loads of frames. The more frames of animation you use, the more interesting your character is going to be. That's homework. But for now, we're going to duplicate that frame. Let's set this to frames per second. If any of your kids or you are video gamers, you'll know all about FPS, about frames per second. It's how many of these pictures it'll play every second. So I've set it to a nice low number. I'm going to take Bob and I'm going to move certain parts of him slightly by redrawing it so it looks like his arm and his legs have moved. So I'm going to move this leg up and I'm going to move this arm up. I might do, if I have time, I might do another one like that. For now, let's just do that, and then you can do the rest in your own time, can't you? So, we're going to need that pipette tool now, big time. Going to move that arm up. Okay, we're going to move that arm up. And then we're going to just do that. There we go. That's a nice little arm wiggle from Bob there. Doesn't look like he's moving yet though, does it? Let's move that there, that there. Get a bit of pink. He's doing a right old Cockney elbow shuffle there. Lovely. Alright? Now we're going to move his leg as well. So we're going to move this bit up. And you can perfect this as you see fit. Oi, oi, oh, oi, it's moving. It's good. Right. And obviously I'm not going to spend too long on this because I've spent a lot of time drawing. And I don't want to bore you all to tears too much today. But I have to say, I'm feeling jolly mellow having sat here drawing Bob Ross for the last 20 minutes. There you go. So look, there's a leg. Let's move the other one down, shall we? And then we should have something that looks pretty good. I'm just going to do this quickly. Hey, it's starting to work, isn't it? It's working. And that there, and I just grab that pipette there. You don't have to get it scientifically perfect, you just have to have something that looks cool. Okay, so you spend as much time as you like on it and get it working so you're happy with it. I am pretty happy with that though. I just need to move that other arm a little bit, don't I? Right, so quickly. Oh, I've messed up this colour, haven't I? There we go. So we're going to move that arm down. Why is that happening? Oh, because I'm on pipette. Make sure you're drawing with a draw tool. I always make that mistake. Very silly. And move that there. I need my blue colour. Is that arm moving? It's not moving yet, is it? Whoops, I've done it again, haven't I? It's all falling, the wheels are falling off now. I've been doing this too long, clearly. Right, and pen. Okay, good. Let's get a black colour. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, that arm is not quite happy. I'm not really happy with that arm yet, but I've spent long enough on this, I think, haven't I? You reckon? There you go. What's that? Hey, I like that. That's good. Right. So we got an animation of Bob. Somebody's asked a question. How do you undo on a tablet? Good question. Let's have a look. There must be a tool on this. Wow, you've caught me off the guard there, haven't you? Nice work. Let's have a look. Goodness. Oh, how annoying. There must be a way of doing it. Hang on. Keyboard shortcuts. Control Z undo. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? How do you do an undo on here without that? Is that it? Counterclockwise. There is no undo tool, is there? I've never even considered that. I do apologise for that. There really isn't an undo tool, is there? Delete selected layer. Huh. Tell you what, Nicola, I will get back to you. Is that all right? I'm really sorry about that. I don't know how to do that. So, if anybody else knows how to do it, if anybody else worked it out on the tablet, they've lost their light. Oh my goodness me, it's all going wrong on that tablet, isn't it? I'm so sorry, Nicola. The lesson will be recorded, so you can have another go at it, all right? So don't panic too much, and I hope your tablet behaves itself. Right. Flickbooks. Who said about Phil has Flickbooks? Yeah, but ours were a little bit rude, Phil, weren't they? Okay. Unfortunately, my students at school are much better behaved than we were. They're a credit to their families, whereas we were basically a disgrace, weren't we? And the punishment for that is that I'm now a teacher, so it serves me right, I guess. Now then, Bob Ross animated. So I want to take Bob's frames and I'm going to put them into my computer game, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But we're going to export him as a type of file called, There's two ways we can do it. I think we'll do it as a GIF file, graphics interchange file. And the good thing about those files is that they're animated. So if I download him now, there he is. And if I open that file on Windows, hopefully, if you look very carefully, little tiny animated Bob Ross. How cool is that going to look in our game? How tiny is that going to look in our game? But we'll get to that in a minute. Right, we're done with Piskel for now. You can carry on in here. You can do more frames of animation. You can export it as a GIF. So you draw your picture, pick your colours, do your drawing, then you come over to here. You go to that picture icon. It's a bit like a Bob Ross painting, the icon, so that's easy to remember. You click on it, and you're going to export as a GIF file. When you hit download, it will save it to your computer in a folder called downloads. And here's my downloads folder. Yours might have more stuff in it already, but it's downloads, okay? There'll be a downloads photo on your tablet or your phone as well. I'm not completely sure what they are. It depends what sort of tablet or phone you're using, but in your file structure somewhere will be the place where you download things. If that is too much of a stress, get in touch and I'll see if I can find out a bit more for you about your specific device. Start it again. See that? I'm going to click like on that. That's what it's all about, guys. Perseverance. Computers can be annoying sometimes. The people who achieve stuff on them are the people who keep trying. Well done. Nicola, is it your son doing it? If it is your son or your daughter, your son, tell them well done. That's how you learn. You persevere, even when things go wrong. Nice. I'm getting all philosophical. I'm actually turning into Bob Ross, aren't I? Is my beard grown? Just check. No, not yet. Give it time. Right. Okay, guys. So we are now going to go to another program. Some of your kids may have used it already. It's called Scratch. Just check that's coming up on the video feed. Hopefully it is. Let me just check we're going live. Oh my goodness me, that's not working so well on there. Let's just take a look on the live producer. We're miles behind, aren't we? Okay, there we go. Scratch has just come up. So I'm working in different times here. It's weird. I've got a lag of about 10 seconds, so you're now listening to this while I'm saying something else. Scratch.mit.edu, the Michigan Institute of Technology. If you can't find it like that, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type Scratch. If you type Scratch into Google, hopefully the website comes up first, scratch.mit.edu. Click on it. It should load. Good, it's loading today. Yesterday, when I tested this, it wasn't working. So I'm going to put that on full screen. Remember, you can Google for Scratch. And then again, you can create an account. You can save your work. I've got an account on here with all my schoolwork on it that I do in my lessons. I'm just going to hit create today and hopefully it's going to work. Yesterday it didn't, today it is. Hooray! Get rid of that green window. Don't need it. I'm your tutor today. And now, a quick walk around Scratch. Scratch is a coding application, web application. You can make code by joining these blocks together. There's various things down here. I will have a proper lesson on Scratch next time. But for today, just a brief overview. You do your code over here, you drag it into here and you make things. For example, if I want to make that cat move, I can do very simply. When I press the space key and then I go to motion and I'll say move 10 steps. All right, that is a really simple computer program. You can try that out if you want in a minute. Then when I press the space key, you can see my cat moves. Okay, play with it, enjoy it, learn about it, do that in your own time. I will do a lesson on Scratch soon, but for now I hate the cat. I see the cat every lesson I do on this. I have to use the cat, so bye bye cat. We've got something better than a cat. We've got Bob Ross. So we're going to upload a sprite. Now, I just need to check which one is the one I did today. A good way of doing that, guys, if you've got lots of files, date modified. If you sort by date modified, that's the most recent one. That's the one I did this morning. So, and there's Bob Ross. He teeny tiny. He tiny Bob Ross. Oh, he tiny. Let's make him 250. Boom. Bob Ross, looking smart there. And if you look at costumes, because we've imported a GIF file, it's done a lovely thing for us. It has imported our animation. Isn't that brilliant? So all we need to do now is we need to code Bob Ross so that he's animated. So I'm going to go to Control. When that's clicked, we're going to start our game. Now, I think for today, all we're going to do is we're going to animate him. Maybe we'll make him walk around a bit as well. Maybe I'll set that for your homeworks. So this is how we animate him. We say forever, it's under control. So when the game starts, forever, and all we've got to do, because we've got a nice simple Bob Ross, we'll just do next costume. And we'll do one more thing. We'll put in a little delay because otherwise it's going to be faster than the eye, and that's not what we want. 0.2 seconds. So that's going to give us 5 frames a second. Yeah? I think that might work. Let's test it. Oh, look at that. Computer magic. Quite exciting, this computer magic. If you know where that quote's from, message me. Okay, let's have a look. Jacob has got a bit behind. Will he be able to rewatch? Yes, he will. No problemo. Okay, I'm going to put this video up shortly. I think Facebook will do it for me automatically, and I'll share it in a few other places as well. I will send you a link to it as well, just in case. Okay, great. So, yes, I want as many people to have a go at this as possible. 49 minutes we've been doing this. This has been so much fun, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm going to go back in here. Let's do so. We've done everything. Oh, what did we say we were going to do today? Let's have a look. Have we achieved? And if I closed something I shouldn't have done. Oh, that's a worry, isn't it? No, I haven't. Okay, so let's just have a look at our presentation and see where we're at. We've created Bob in Piskel. We have created some frames of animation. Only 2. You can do some more for your homework, all right? We've saved our graphics so we can use them in our Scratch game. We've imported the graphic into Scratch. We've wrote some code to animate the sprite when it moves. We've done everything on our list, guys. Well done, us. So we've got it. We've ticked everything off. I have achieved my learning objectives today. Hurrah. That never usually happens. Usually it's people wanting to go to the toilet and things like that, slowing me down. I think the dog needs to go to the toilet. Do you need to go to the toilet, dog? No, he's okay. Right. So, I'm going to give you a little extra, as we've got 5-10 minutes additionally. Shh, come here. I'm just going to call my dog over. If I had a video camera, I'd show you my dog, but unfortunately I don't. Lie down. I've got a spaniel called Loki, and he really lives up to his name, don't you, buddy? Shh, okay. Today, Loki, you are an honorary baby raccoon. Right, so little bonus for you as we've got time, and you can try this out for yourself. Our screen here that Bob is standing on right now is divided up a bit like a graph, and it has X and Y coordinates. So everything you put into your game, let's just call that Bob, shall we, by the way? There we go. We've now got Bob the Sprite. Nice. Everything in the game has got an X and a Y position. So if I move him there, his X has gone up and his Y has gone up. If I move him here, his X is about the same. His Y has turned negative. And if I move him over here, he's now got a negative X position and a negative Y position. So I can refer to Bob by using his X and Y positions. And when I motion and when I move him around the screen, I can change X. Let's just move that up so you can see it. Change X, change Y, okay? So in our code, this is how all computer games work pretty much. If I increase Bob's X and Y positions, he's going to move around the screen, okay? He's a two-dimensional object. He's got X and Y positions. So let's create a piece of code. Control forever. Now, this is the proper way of doing it. If you look at events, this is important. You can do when a key is pressed as your event. The problem with that is if Bob falls off a platform, or if Bob completes the game and makes his painting, that will still work. Even though it's game over, that will still work. I will still be able to do that, and I don't want that to happen because then my game will look a bit rubbish. I want it to only work while the game is running, while I've started the game. So I'm going to use the green flag, and I encourage you to adopt that when you make your code, all right? Always use the green flag to start your game. Don't use any other events like that, okay? Later on, you'll understand that a bit more, but right now, trust me on this one, okay? So when the green flag's put, we're going to forever just checks over and over this piece of code. So his costume is always changing. We're going to have a piece of code here that's checking to see if they've pressed a key. So we're going to go to sensing. And here we've got if a key is pressed. All right. Now, it's a sort of stretched hexagon. So we obviously can't just chuck it in here. Won't work. Doesn't work. All right. That's because we need something else. We need if. So if, and this is a really important programming principle, coding principle, if this is true, if they've pressed this key, then something is going to happen. I don't want the space key. I'm a proper gamer, so I'm going to use A for left, D for right, W for up, and S for down. So I want to move right, so I'm going to use D. And then I'm going to go to motion, and I'm going to change X by 10. Let's test that out. Click the green flag. Okay, not bad. He's moving a little bit too much, so let's change X by a smaller number. Let's see if that just tidies it up a bit. Let's put Bob back over here, drag him back over. And let's try again. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so if I change X by 5, that increases X by 5 and he moves to the right. I'm now going to right click that code just to save time, and I'm going to build a piece of code to move him left. So this time that was right click, duplicate, okay, and it created this. So I drag this here, and I'm going to make the A key move him left. Now at the moment, if I press the A key, I've got a bug in my code. He's still moving right because X is still increasing by 5. I need X to decrease by 5 or change it by -5. So when I press it now we're talking. Bob moves left and he moves right. Okay, so I want you to have a go at that. I'm going to take a screen dump of that right now, and I'm going to drop it on the Facebook thing. I want you to extend that and see if you can get him moving up and down, okay? So we've changed his X position by 5 and -5 to move him left and right. You need to work out how to write the code to make him move up and down. And I'm going to leave that with you, okay? Look at what we've done, watch the video again, and see if you can work it out. But for now, I think we've had a good lesson, and I think that is quite enough for one day. So I'm going to wish you a most excellent day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.